Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up podcast. That's Nick. I'm Theo. Today, we continue on with our Couch Scout series. We're talking about cornerbacks. We're going to give you our top 15 corners. If you're new to the show, the Couch Scout series is us just watching tape of the guys in the NFL draft and then compiling our rankings of said players. If you've seen the show, you know what we're doing here. It is my favorite part of the podcast. Nicholas, how you doing today?
Sick. If you are just joining us, I apologize. I normally do not sound like this. I am getting over a hell of a cold. But the draft's in 3 weeks, dude. The grind doesn't stop. We're here tonight. Like you said, this is my Jordan flu game, baby. I'm here.
This
dying,
is your,
but I'm here. I got three drinks.
Got the electrolytes. You gotta stay
I got
hydrated.
the hot, the cold, and the room temp drinks, dude. I'm prepared for everything.
Yeah, it's the Jordan flu game. You shot up yourself with some IVs before hopping on.
Good.
Yeah, you sound like you smoked 14 packs of cigarettes as well. But
back
you're
in my
here,
day,
and that's all that matters.
Chocolate, sweet chocolate.
Chocolate. That reminds me of the Timothée Chalamet Wonka movie, because the one that's Keegan-Michael Key's character. That's how he says chocolate in the song, and it gets me every time. He's like, that's a lot of chocolate.
Chocolate
Kills me.
Back in my day.
You know where to find the show. We're over on Twitter at @DraftedUp_pod. But more importantly, smash that like button over on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you watch or listen to the show. Like it, rate it, subscribe it, review, share. We appreciate all the support from you guys as we continue on our second draft class on the podcast. We started with last year's class. Now we're diving here. We're almost done 2025's rookie class.
Goes quick, dude. The draft is right around the corner. I'm excited, dude. It's like 3 weeks. Less than 3 weeks, to be honest, because it's Friday, Saturday. I don't even know what day it is. I'm so sick. Last 4 days are just blended together.
Yeah. Compiling. I've been trying to compile my big board, and like, I have like guys at 50 that I'm like, oh, that guy could go in like late first, early second, and like I like him, but like, do I like him more than these guys? It's like last year, I really don't think I had too much of a problem with my top 100. Whereas this year, I'm just like, man, that guy should be higher. That's just the type of class it is. Really not heavy at the top, which we brought up, and it's real congested from like 20 to 60.
Oh, it's me. Congested, you said. Huh, interesting. From like middle of the first, even like the middle of the third, it's all just guys that are in the same kind of buckets. My God, there goes my voice. Ugh, it's gonna be a long cornerback episode.
Yeah. So let's start there with corners.
It's a good class. I like the corners.
Yeah. It's I think like the top 7 or 8 are just really good football players. My 9 and 10, I think they're fine. I think they're mid-round guys, and then like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 kind of all in the same bucket is just like CB4s who could potentially be CB2s in the future if they develop. Like I think it's a real top-heavy class. This is the opposite of the draft class. I think it's real top-heavy, and then like afterwards it's just kind of calling your shots on some of the guys. Yeah, a lot of the guys on the back end are, if they develop, they'll be this, they'll be that. It is what we're gonna kind of predict what they can be at their fullest. All right. CBs, we're doing our top 15, so let's do 15 through 11. You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well, it'd be nice if my document loaded. This is great podcasting here. Corner 15.
I can go if you want.
I got it. I knew the list. I just wanted to. I didn't want to like say anybody out of order. Corner 15, I have Azareye'h Alexander from LSU. At 14, I have Noel Williams from Cal. 13, I have Kobe Bryant from Kansas. 12, I have Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. And corner 11, I have Za Frazier from UTSA.
All right, yeah, right off the bat, you got 2 guys that I do not have in my top 15.
Is one of them Za Frazier? Is he one of them?
Yes, and he is one of them. I have him at 22, and then I have Nolan Williams at
I love
20.
Za Frazier.
My 15 is Mello Dotson from Kansas.
Okay, I have
14
him
is
16.
Denzel Burke. Okay. 14 is Denzel Burke from Ohio State. 13 is Kobe Bryant from Kansas. Dotson's running mate. 12, Quincy Riley from Louisville. And 11, Jacob Parrish from Kansas State,
Yeah.
I believe.
Okay, so Riley and Denzel Burke did not make my top 15, either to Mello Dotson. Mello
Okay.
Dotson was 16 for me. Quincy Riley was 17. Denzel Burke was
Okay.
18.
Oh, okay. So they're right on your outside. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny. You want to talk to your guys?
Yeah, that's 3 different, though.
Yeah,
which
for
means our
it's going to be a lot of talking for
top
me here, and it's going to be bad audio.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll start. Do you have Azareye'h Alexander in your top 15?
Yep.
Okay, so he's in your top 10. So we'll hold off on
He's my
him.
10.
Okay, so we'll start Noah Williams. Cal, I'm at 14.
Okay.
6 feet, 199, 9-inch arms, or 9-inch arms.
9-inch arms
again.
Another T-Rex guy.
That's what you don't want at corner, baby. 9-inch hands. 30 and 3/4-inch arms, 75.5-inch wingspan. He ran a 4.5, did 19 reps on the bench, 33.5-inch for 10-foot broad. Positives I have for him: he's really chippy and competitive. Pretty good at reading the quarterback. He's versatile. He can play, inside, outside. He can play man, press, pretty much anything. He's real patient, pretty physical, good ball skills. His tackling needs work, areas of improvement. Not a great tackler. Athleticism, not really there. He's just like borderline fine athlete, but like the 4.5. He doesn't got long speed, but he's got some explosiveness, 10-foot broad. Footwork's a little iffy. He gets real handsy, which goes into the competitiveness and the chippiness. And then his route recognition just isn't there. But incredibly physical corner. Even with the physicality, ball hawk. He's a ball hawk player, 14 career interceptions. His best season was this past year at Cal. And every year in college, he's improved. Really good anticipation, reads the quarterback well, plays inside out, good size, 6 foot, 199, almost 200 pounds. Overly aggressive, though, like I said, with his hands, gets real handsy. His tackling's below average. His route recognition needs improvement. As at times, he did try to jump routes, and he was a little late, and it caused broken plays, caused him to get beat. But that stuff's coachable to me, and
For sure.
I think he's a good fit for like a Brian Flores system. He's a bigger corner. Like that, as I was watching, I was like, oh, this guy would be a good fit in Minnesota for Flores. But he's fallen into this bucket where like he's a 3rd round, 4th round guy. Probably a CB4 to start, but I think he could play a little nickel. He could be an outside guy too, so he's got versatility there. But yeah, these guys are all pretty clumped together, but I ended up liking him. I like the potential he has as a ball hawker as well with the 14 pick. So if he could improve
got really good ball skills,
his timing, and that stuff's coach. We tell him just like hold back. Like I don't need you to jump the routes and get the picks. Just make the play, let the guy catch a tackle and whatever. But you don't got to be Trayvon Diggs all the time. That was a big problem with him. Is he just loves trying to anticipate and jump the route, and sometimes it works and it's glorious. Other times he gets blown up pretty bad.
It's really good for a stat sheet, for sure, where their picks pop off the charts. But when you really dig into their stats, they're giving up a lot of big plays and whatnot. And I do like his ball skills. He's really good at ball skills, but I found him being way too handsy. I don't know how many penalties he had called on him, but if I had to guess, it was a shit ton, dude. Oh, my voice. Way too handsy. I found that he would be too aggressive, jump the ball, and completely miss. But like you said, that's all coachable. It's all developmental stuff. I have him in the same bucket as my 15. He's my 20. So if he develops right, he could be a really good number 3 corner. He's got to work on his penalties, though, dude. He's too grabsy. People are getting away from him at breaks at the top of routes, and he just kind of reaches for his hands. That's what he's going to be doing.
Yep. All right, so my CB11, Za Frazier, UTSA. 6 foot, 2.5 inches tall, 186 pounds, 8.25-inch hands, 32 7/8 inch arms, 80.5-inch wingspan, ran a 4.36, 1.5 10-yard split, 36.5 verge, 10 foot 6-inch broad jump, 7 on the 3-cone, 4.26 on the 20-yard shuttle. This dude's an athlete, and he is long. like 6'2.5", 186 pounds, a little thin, but height-wise, he's there. Almost 33-inch arms, 80.5-inch wingspan. He's got arm length, long stride, speed, athleticism. He's a really aggressive run defender, good ball skills and ball tracking, really good in zone coverage and contested areas. He's a little older, inexperienced as well. He only has 10 career starts at the FBS level. Hips are a little tight, doesn't transition well, and while he is really aggressive against the run, his tackling in the open field a little shaky. But long limb, tall, raw prospect out of UTSA. Like I said, minimal college experience. He was a former JUCO All-American, though. Excels in zone coverage, exceptional ball skills and tracking abilities. Had 6 picks this past year. Really aggressive against the run and in the contested catch area. The evaluation, though, I found it's tough. This is a lot of projecting here. There's minimal exposure for, like I said, 10 career starts at the FBS level. This is truly a projection. I know he's older, inexperienced, not the best tackler, and struggles at times with transitioning and redirecting his frame, but I love his upside, and he's just one of those guys I'm willing to take a shot on, especially a corner with his length. Like, I think he's a guy who could be a CB3 at the next level. I really like the projection going forward for Za Frazier.
I get it. I definitely get it. Watching him, though, was just like consistently red flag after red flag, red flag. He turns 25 in October. He's really old.
I wish he was 22 years old. I really do.
I agree. So he could develop. And what worries me is that he's older and he only played one season of college. But the way he runs, it worries me because his hips, he can't switch. Like, if a guy gets past him, he can't get back to him. Oh, my goodness. My voice is killing me, dude. This is way harder than I thought it would be. I don't know how Jordan did this. No, he's your guy. You're good. I didn't like him. I got nothing.
That's going to be the case with corners. It's going to be because you're going to talk about Denzel Burke, and I only got 18 guys in, so he is my CB18. I can tell you the next couple guys I watch, I'm probably going to like more than him because I am just not about Denzel Burke. He is just not my cup of tea. I think he's already peaked and played his best football, and I don't think there's any projection going up for him. I think he's projecting downwards. Like, I think he's gotten progressively worse every season. So let's dive in. Talk Denzel Burke.
I found that he's a good press corner, has the ability to slow guys off the line. He looks very natural in his coverage ability, but he can lose a man in man-to-man. He struggles with his hips when changing directions, just like your guy. But he's really good in the run support, and he's a nice tackler, and that's why I have him up here. I found that he's a really good tackler. He squares out right. He's good in press and zone, but if you have to have him cover man, it's just not going to happen at the next level. But like we said, it's all about developing. If he can develop his man game, it does add to it. But as of right now, he's just a press zone kind of cornerback. He's not a guy that can do both.
Yeah, press zone. His ball skills aren't great either. Like, I felt he really struggled locating and playing the ball at the catch point. Like, I just don't think the ball skills are there. While he's a fine tackler, I think he does have to refine his technique. I just think he's kind of peaked, and maybe it depends on what you're looking for mid-round, but, like, I think he's capped almost at the NFL level. Like, I don't think there's any projecting forward, whereas I just think he is a flatline CB 3 or 4, and sometimes that's what you want. You just want a guy who's going to be on your team and be reliable when you have to play him. I just don't see a ceiling for him in the NFL. I just think he's a fine player.
Yeah, for sure. His floor and ceiling are not far apart, so I definitely see having him lower. I just think what he brings to the table is just very consistent. It's solid, and at the end of the day, you know what you're getting what you're getting with Denzel Burke. It's not going to be a superstar, but it's going to be a guy that can step in day one and contribute right now. Not at a high level, but at a decent NFL level.
All right. The only other one we had different here in this area was Mello Dotson from Kansas. 6 foot, almost 6'1", 192 pounds, 31.5-inch arms, almost 78-inch wingspan. Ran a 4.59, 34.5-inch for 10'3" broad. What I got here, because I did start reports for the guys outside my top 15. Dotson, I had 16. Insane ball skills, 12 interceptions, 4 of which he returned for touchdowns. He plays man, plays zone. He maintains leverage really good. I think he's got good footwork. He's aggressive in run support. I just think he lacks functional strength at the next level. I think receivers can kind of move him around and bully him off the line. Hips are a little tight. I don't think he transitions that well. And while being a ball hawk, I do think he needs to sharpen his eye discipline. I noticed that sometimes he caught himself focusing too much on the backfield or on the quarterback, and he lost track of his assignment and got beat that way. But I like the ball skills. I just think I like he's similar to Za Frazier. I just liked Za Frazier a little bit more. That's why he ended up higher. I just think Mello Dotson, again, fine football player. I like him way more than Denzel Burke. Him and Zy Alexander was my 15. Were real close. It was back and forth for me. They almost have virtually the same grade. But I do think Mello Dotson is a CB3 ceiling at the next level, but a good, like, great CB4.
A good one. He's a really good zone coverage with NFL size. He can play the outside good within. He can play the outside. He's great within the first 10 yards or so. But after that 10 yards, dude, it gets kind of sketchy. I'll be the first one to admit that. He doesn't have the speed to play one-on-one, but he has very good ball instinct to play zone coverage really well. His ability to play zone and his ball instincts will have him earning a spot on an NFL team at the end of the day, just because his ability to do those two things is elite. He's not going to be playing man-on-man, one-on-one. It's not his game. But if you ask him to play zone and just watch the field, watch the ball, and go get it, that's what he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, I almost wonder if he sees a transition to safety at some point in his career, just of how good he is in zone and his ball skills and kind of, just playing outfield.
Yeah, he would be a really good safety just to drop back, watch the field. That's the kind of guy he is. He's not going to be a guy that can stick with someone, cover long distances of the field, because that's not the cornerback he is. But when you ask him just to sit there, watch the field, watch the quarterback, and make a break, he's really good at it, dude.
There are two other corners. I technically watched 20 corners, but two of them, one of them being Upton Stout, who I talked about at our last episode. I consider him a safety. I just don't think he transitions well to corner at the next level. And so I watched him while I was evaluating corners. We're like, this guy, I think he's going to be a safety. So that's where I ended up ranking him. And same with Mac McWilliams from UCF. I think he also transitions to safety as well. But I do think Mello Dotson might be a guy who ends up potentially seeing time at safety, especially if injuries happen to a team safety. You're like, hey, Mello, and he's a team player. He's going to go out there and do that. Like him and Kobe Bryant, they feed really well off each other. I've seen them interview together. They really are a great pair. And that leads us into Kobe Bryant. We both had him at 13.
Yeah, I had him at 13.
Kobe Bryant, the other Kansas corner, 6 feet, 180, 9.25 inch hands, 31.75 inch arms, 77-inch wingspan, 4.53 40, 1.5 10-yard split. The size is an issue. 180 pounds. It's not ideal. Brings in Emmanuel Forbes vibes, but man, Kobe Bryant was so fun to watch. I love his vision. He's a dog. I love his vision and his anticipation. Good length, which makes up for being smaller frame-wise. Footwork's good, fluid hips, really good at changing direction. Ball skills are there. Size, eye discipline, patience, they all need work. Run defense as well. And that's really a frame issue. He'll try and throw himself at a run defense in the run, but his frame doesn't really rely and allow him to be effective there. And I like his top end speed, not great either. I thought he kind of get beat over the top a few times, but he's one of, if not the most dynamic ball hawking corner in the class. Flashy, his anticipation and vision's impeccable, fun to watch. Size is concerning, like I said, at 180. And I think that's generous. I don't think he was playing at 180. I think that was just his testing weight. But he makes up for a good length, fluid hips, footwork, change of direction. It's all really good. So dynamic that you want to trust him as the outlier. Like, his tape is top 10 tape, in my eyes. It's just, do we trust the frame holding up at the next level? His eye discipline, patience, like I said, needs to improve. Sometimes he jumped the route and it caused a big play to happen, and he lacks that top end speed and got beat over the top in his run defense. Subpar, but he is willing to at least partake in that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Kobe Bryant, Good in man-to-man, but struggles with guys bigger than him due to his size, like we've been talking about. Willing to do whatever to make a play on the ball, good or bad. So that's a red flag, but it's also a really green flag for him. Great ball instincts, really shows in zone, plays hard, good at reading the quarterback. He watches his eyes and then makes the break. He does anticipate a little bit too soon for my liking, but that's coachable. I really like him, dude, but his frame worries me at the next level.
I also wonder if that breaking on a route and try and jump in it is it's a Kansas thing. Because Mello Dotson was also doing so. I don't know if that's if they're coached to do that, if they're just trying to make plays. I don't know. And if it is a scheme thing where like the Kansas coach is like, hey, jump those routes, they get to the next level and the coach is like, hey, play off a little bit. I think that does benefit them because then that gives them the room to do that, to jump the route.
I agree. Because there's a couple guys in this class that don't believe in their own instincts, and it really shows. These two guys don't. And I think that's what it is at Kansas. It's more so they just give them the ability to, they know you can make the break. You know you can make the break. Just do it. At the end of the day, it's going to burn us, but you live and die by that play, dude.
All right. Jacob Parrish, Kansas State. I have him at 12. You have him at 11.
11.
Okay. 5 foot, 9 3/4 inches, almost 5'10", a little small. 191 pounds, 9-inch hands, 30 7/8 inch arms, 75-inch wingspan. Ran 4.35, 1.5, 110.
Speed.
10 foot, 9-inch broad, 37.5-inch vert. 12 reps on the bench. I don't care about that, but the explosiveness is there. He's another guy. He was so fun to watch.
He's really fast, but he's not just fast. He runs with power, dude.
Yeah.
Like he runs with the determination.
He runs like a running back.
Really want, dude. Yeah. Well, 100%, dude. He runs hard.
That excellent tackler as well. Like you wouldn't think that being under 5'10" and being smaller, but good ball skills. His footwork is impeccable. His feet are electric.
He looks like a dancer, dude.
Yeah, really good in press coverage, run defender as well. Size and mass is concerned. Not great at changing direction. His route recognition, also a little subpar, same as his start-stop ability, but fun watch. He's so feisty, so competitive despite his size limitations. He's not the biggest dude, both height and mass, but he's such a dog. He will fight. He's probably a nickel only in the NFL. Despite being an outside corner predominantly at Kansas State, but good tackling skills, ball production's there, excellent footwork. Like I said, his feet, it's almost like he's gliding. Willing, aggressive in run defense, but he does lack the change of direction, start-stop ability. So shiftier receivers did give him issues. Awareness and route recognition subpar, but if you just want to get a guy who's going to be a competitive piece in your corner room, he's it. He kind of. It gives me just like a poor man Mikey Sandrill vibes. He's just this smaller corner who is just feisty and will just constantly be on you all day.
Yep, 100%, dude. I'm a big fan. He was a 2-year starter with good ball skills. Can play outside and inside. Runs fast, but runs with power as well. Good long speed. Very twitchy in short areas. But he needs to work on his open field tackling and falling for the double break. Like you mentioned, shifty receivers will get the best of him because I think he plays with his head and he just knows where to move. But sometimes that bites you in the ass when you got the guys that are better at that than you and they put you on the dance floor with it. If he's backing up and some guy breaks left, breaks right, breaks back left, he's done. He is done, dude. He's not keeping up with that guy. But he does have the makeup speed to get back to him, which I do also love because of how fast he is. He's not a guy that's going to be sticking at a receiver's hip, but he has the makeup speed to get back to where he fucked up. We're struggling.
Him, Frazier, Kobe Bryant, my 11 through 13. I also have them in the same bucket as my CB10 and CB9. Like these guys are almost all interchangeable to me. But yeah, I really like Jacob Parrish. Really fun watch. Really, if he was 6 foot, he'd probably be higher for me.
Higher? For sure.
The size does concern me. And the same with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, thinner frame, and that's pretty much what dropped him down there. But I think Jacob Parrish, he's going to be a feisty dude. I think he's going to play special teams at the next level, and I think coaches are going to love him. And when he gets in, sort of, if you remember Duke Shelley, He played a little bit with the Vikings, and he ended up having to play because of injuries, and he was just such a dog. And he was just always on you, in your face, just in your zone, and it worked. I think Jacob Parrish has that potential. If an injury happens, I think he can step in nicely and at least hold his own.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he goes third round. I do. I do think he ends up as a back end of the third, early fourth. I think there's a chance he is a top 100 pick.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just based off of, it depends on how soon like the top 8 guys go.
The corner goes, yeah.
But if there's a decent run on the top 8, we're gonna start seeing a lot of these guys go earlier than before they should be going, theoretically.
Oof. All right, Azareye'h Alexander's the only guy in my top my 15 through 11 we haven't talked about. You have him at 10.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you not have Quincy Riley in your top 15?
No, I forgot about him. Let's talk Quincy Riley, then we'll go on to
all right.
Azareye'h
Quincy
Alexander.
Riley he's my NFL traits guy, projection guy. He's not a guy that has his tape isn't great, but he has all the traits. So Quincy Riley has a ton of NFL traits. His 2024 tape isn't as good as 2023.
His
but you can still see the
2023
same
tape
guy
is,
in his tape.
So good.
Was amazing. It's amazing. But you can still see the same guy in the 2024 tape. It's just not the complete same. Great makeup speed and very athletic. So 2 things you want out of a corner, because he's not great at coverage. Again, he has the speed to make up for his fuck-ups. But he needs to work on his ball instincts and just natural break on the ball. And his tackling technique, his tackling is not there. I never want to see this guy tackle it the way he does. It is dangerous for him and the guy running. He needs an NFL coach to really do all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. A lot of head down stuff. Just going in head first, instead of leading with the shoulder. 13 pass breakups, though, in 2024. That I noticed was on par with his 2023.
Yeah, it's because he plays the ball at the high point. He will not let the ball come down if he has the ability. I just love his athleticism. I get it's a developmental thing. He needs to get to the right system, the right coaches. But if all of it falls into place for him, I think he'd be a top 10 corner in this draft.
Yeah. His run support worries me. Like you said, I don't want this guy tackling people just because of his tackling technique needs so much refinement. Like, it's just not
it's
there.
So bad, dude. Yeah.
His frame, he's got a wiry frame, so he's not really physical, outmatched by larger receivers. But, I liked his athleticism. Really fluid, quick twitch, mirrors receivers really well when he's able to, and he breaks on routes. Versatile, he played boundary, played nickel. So there's stuff there. And I like his ball skills. That was the number one thing I've written down for him.
His ball skills are so good, dude.
13 pass breakups, 2 interceptions in 2024. And his 2024 tape did take a step back. I liked him a lot better in 2023. But the athleticism's there. Like I said, he's a real traitsy guy. Ran a 4.48, 5'11", 194. He's got the good size. He's a little thinner. I don't think he plays at 194. I think that was just his testing weight. But yeah, projecting wise, he does have a high ceiling, but there's a lot of his game that really worried me. That's why he was my CB17.
I get it. For sure. They're all relatively the same bucket guys because they're all just developmental traits at this point. But his ceiling's just so high for me, dude.
Yeah. All right, so Azareye'h Alexander, I'm at 15.
My 10.
You have him at 10. LSU corner, 6'1" and 3/8, so a little under, or almost 6'2". 187 pounds. Yeah. 9 1/4 inch hands, 31-inch arms, 77.5-inch wingspan, ran a 4.56, 1.53, 10-yard split, 31.5-inch vert, 9'6" broad. So the explosive numbers aren't there for him, but good length, real good tackler, good impress man, real fluid hips. I thought his eyes were really good, his eye recognition, his run defense as well. Injury history, I do have a concern there. Had an ACL tear in 2023, concussion this past year. He also hesitates a lot, and his hands are inconsistent. Like I said, speed, athleticism. not where you want it. He's just, a fine athlete. But lengthy prospect, excelled in press man coverage, predominantly outside corner. So you like that, who will provide NFL teams, I think, with real good depth at the position. Solid tackler, excellent run defender, plays with his eyes, uses his length to his advantage, which he needs to do because the speed athleticism it isn't on par with the NFL level, but he uses his length. He has fluid hips. He moves well. The injury concerns, like I said, ACL in 2023, concussion this past year. And I did notice, like I said, he hesitates at the top of routes and allows receivers to kind of get by him or kind of go around him and get back to the ball. Not the most athletic, struggles with explosive, bursty wide receivers, but that's when he gets handsy. Guys get past him and he pulls, gets a PI or, gets beat. But I think from a floor perspective, Zai's a really good floor corner, real competitive. I like the tackling ability, which not a lot of the corners, like if you find a corner who's willing to tackle and actually good at it, I think that pumps him up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So he's got great size and length, does lack NFL athleticism, but his instincts and traits will get him past that. If he does get beaten, his length and size get him back to the receiver's hip pretty quick due to his because of his lack of athleticism. That's not going to translate well to the NFL. Guys in college, he can do that with. The next level, these guys are way faster because they're all elite at what they do. So I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, but we'll see. I think he's pretty good. The guys don't get too far from him that he's still able to be there. Has really good ball tracking and timing ability to play man-to-man end zone. Can develop into a nice NFL starter if given the right opportunity. My main flags are his athleticism and his injury concern. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to be really good for an NFL team. Again, is a team willing to bet on an injured guy? There's a good chance he's not on a lot of teams' boards just based off injury. A concussion and an ACL are two really concerning things. An ACL, especially for a guy who has to run fast, and a concussion is just never good for anybody. It doesn't matter the position. So they're two red flags for sure, and his athleticism is a red flag. But I think his size and his length and his timing and his ability to just track the ball, he's going to be a really good guy if it all just kind of develops. And again, develop is the main word we're saying here 1,000 times over this episode. Because playing corner, it's so hard to do at a consistent level year in and year out. It's one of the hardest positions in football. These guys are going to have up and down years, dude. They peak. It's very valley, dude.
There's going to be a guy who I'm sure is in our top three, both of us, who had a bad 2024 compared to his 2023. So it's a matter of betting
100%.
on that. But yeah, like I said, these 15 through 11 guys are all in the same bucket to me. Even my 9 and 10s are also in this bucket. It's just really like traits developing, trying to figure out one's safer than the others. And it's kind of projection where after the top 8 guys, I think we're going to have the same guys in our top 8, probably different orders. After them,
I kind of agree.
After them, it's really just putting guys all in the same bucket and projecting how you feel about them. Whereas the bottom part of this class, after those top 8 to me, is wide open.
I agree. You could bring up probably 20 guys. Not 20.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could bring up Robert
12 guys.
Longerbeam, kid from Rutgers. I didn't get a chance to watch him, but I think there's a case that he could be in someone's top 15. I wouldn't bat an eye because he falls into this developmental, a really good combine. That's just how I feel about the outside the top portion of this class is kind of wide open. Before we dive into the rest, go on.
I was just going to bring up that different scouts are looking at different traits for some of these guys. So if a GM really likes a guy's ball tracking ability, his way to time the ball at his high point, he doesn't really care if he can tackle or not. But then if you look at the Ravens, they want guys that can get in there, get dirty, get their head low, and make a really good tackle. But yet they drafted Nate Wiggins. So
he was great for them this past year. Yeah,
I agree. But him coming out of college, he couldn't tackle worth a lick.
No.
And then now all of a sudden he's with the Ravens, a great coaching staff, and he balled out, dude. He's an undersized guy who's out there. Exactly.
Yep. And it's also team scheme fit. Like a team might have their outside
100%.
corners locked up, whereas they need a nickel guy. So they might draft one of these smaller guys who are nickel only ahead of a guy like Zy Alexander, whoever, who we have in our top 15, you in your top 10. and they might draft one of these guys who are outside our top 15
Yeah.
because they just need like a nickel player, and like it's just a matter like team scheme fit, all of that comes into effect. Like corner positions more like it's tough to just grade out like ranking the corners because there's outside corners, there's inside corners, there's guys who play off, they play man, like there's so many schemes, so it's just trying to project like, okay, like this guy I think at man is better than this guy at zone. Like I think his projection going forward is higher in the NFL. So
yeah.
before we dive into the rest of our top 10,
we brought up doing two different cornerback lists in general. We brought up doing outside corners and nickel corners just because there's such a difference in the position. They're not even almost the same cornerbacks. They're two different positions.
Because those
so it's hard to grade out these guys.
Safeties. Look at Coupe de Jean, or that's where Sebastian Castro would fall for me if we ranked him. I know I brought him up in our safety position episode, but like I don't think he's good enough to be a full-time corner. I don't think he's good enough to be a full-time safety, but I think he'd be a fine nickel.
Yeah, like, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Before we jump into the rest of our top 10, let's shout out our friends over at W Energy. W, they pride themselves on full ingredient disclosure. It's clean energy, no artificial dyes, no sweeteners, none of that stuff. It's a good, clean product. They have non-caffeine stuff as well. They got hydration if you want to add a little boost to your water. It's good stuff. I have 2 flavors up here. They have a ton of other flavors. They have a mystery flavor. They have like a mango, peaches, and cream type ordeal. They got a Japanese soda. They got a watermelon, coconut, strawberry. They got a fruit punch. They got a lime, watermelon, guava. Ton of flavors. Ton of variety out there for you. Check them out. They have an app. Just look up Dubby, D-U-B-B-Y, on your app store, your Apple store, Google Play Store. Download the app. Or you can go to their site, dubby.gg. That's D-U-B-B-Y. And then, of course, use the code DRAFTEDUP for a nice 10% discount. Help support the show. Support our friends over at W Energy. Be better with Dubby. Eat that dub.
W Energy. They got something for my throat? That would be ideal, W. What you got? You got something with honey in it, dog?
I'll shoot him a message. Right now, all they've been messaging out to content creators is about the tariffs. I'm not getting into politics, but the product's not going to be. It's not going to be affected by anything. They're not raising their prices, so they're still supporting the content creators, supporting the people buying their product as well. They're not raising any of their prices. They're also going to negotiate with their overseas people in terms of just trying to keep the price to where they need it, that it's affordable. So kudos to them.
Love it.
That's enough politics. All right. At 10, you had Azareye'h Alexander. So who do you have 9 through 6?
9 through 6. So, like you said, my 10 is Azareye'h Alexander from LSU. 9, Darian Porter from Iowa State. 8, Benjamin Morris from Notre Dame. 7, Azareye'h Thomas from Florida State. 6, Trey Amos, Ole Miss.
Okay. This is going to be smooth. At 10, I have a guy who's not in your top 15. Dorian Strong from Virginia Tech.
21. In between. You had like my 20, 21, and 22 were all on your list. That's so funny.
My 16, 17, 18 were on yours. Dorian Strong, Virginia Tech is my CB10. At 9, I have Darian Porter from Iowa State. At 8, I have Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. At 7, I have Maxwell Hairston from Kentucky. And at 6, I have Azareye'h Thomas from Florida State.
Okay.
I'm
not a fan of Maxwell Harrison, I say.
No, I am. I really like the top 8 guys. I love Benjamin Morrison, too.
I liked Harrison way more than I thought I was going to, dude.
That's how I felt about Trey Amos.
Okay.
Who's not in he's in my top 5.
Okay. I like it.
I'll talk about Dorian Strong. He's the outlier here. Virginia Tech corner. 6'1", 195 pounds, 9 1/4-inch hands, 30 7/8-inch arms, so almost 31-inch arms, 76 1/8-inch wingspan. He ran a 4.5, 1.55, 10-yard split, 36-inch vert, 9'8" broad, 15 bench reps. I love how he disrupts the wide receivers. at the contact zone. He's just always
For sure,
in
dude.
their grill. He does not.
He is getting hands on a guy no matter
that
what,
5-yard
dude.
bump. He
He lives for it,
thrives.
dude.
He's so physical. I thought he was a smooth mover, good arm length, good tackler. Like, but though he's handsy. He's so handsy. His recovery speed not there. He's overly aggressive, and he did take some poor angles, but he possesses the physical capabilities to be a low end CB2 in my eyes at the next level. I think that's his ceiling. Almost feels like he's gliding at times when he moves, and he uses his arm length to his advantage. He's a real good tackler with room to improve. Like, he's got good tackling technique. Gives receivers.
Dude, he gets low as hell to drop guys. Yeah. He will get lower than anybody, and then dog out someone's legs, dude. I love watching this guy tackle.
Yeah, like I thought I was just so like compelled and attracted to just how physical, because he was a completely different watch than most of these guys. Like like I said, he loves that 5-yard contact window. He will use it to his advantage. He thrives in that bump and run area. Long speed's not there. Does get handsy downfield when he's about to get beat. His aggressiveness can be a flaw. It led him to taking poor angles when trying to jump routes. But he's a big play waiting to happen with really good ball skills. And I think he starts as a depth piece or spot starter, but I think there is so much room for him to grow as a prospect just due to how physical he is. Like, I think coaches are going to love that approach to his game. Like, he could almost become like Marshawn Lattimore types of physical and just really get in a dude's head.
He is one of the better physical corners in this draft, for sure. He will get hands on you no matter what. He also has really good credit card hands. He is swiping the ball constantly out of receivers' hands. I found that to be his probably second best trait after his hands on physicality. If a guy catches the ball, there's a good chance he's not going to get through the process because this guy's hands are in that guy's zone all the time. So he's ripping at the ball constantly. But like you said, he took really bad angles sometimes. But I found him taking really good angles at some point too. So if he can find some type of middle ground on his angle ability, I think that would be for the best for sure. But his lows were pretty low on his angles. Did get handsy at the tops of routes for sure. That's a thing I really don't want to see in my corners. So that's why they're a little bit lower.
He gonna be wearing oven mitts at the next level in camp. They're gonna be Joey Porter Jr.
His first 3 months in the NFL are 100% oven mitted. He's not allowed to have hands on anybody. But once you get him into that game, his hands are instantly right where they need to be on the press. I do like him. I think he's going to develop nicely. He's in that range.
Yeah. I really ended up liking him. Like I was for sure he wasn't going to be in my top 10 after watch. His physicality really stuck out to me. He
takes receivers out of the play right off the bat, dude. Like, I love that. Like, if he's getting guys smaller than him in the NFL, the ball's hiked and they're almost out of the play because they're just they don't know what to do. He stops them in their tracks, dude.
Yeah,
he was a fun watch.
His hands are violent for sure. All right,
for sure, dude.
CB9 for both of us. Darian Porter from Iowa State. Go Cyclones.
Big body.
Yeah, former receiver, but almost 6'3", 6'2" and 7/8 inches.
Yeah.
195 pounds. 33 and 1/8 inch arms, 9-inch hands, almost an 80-inch wingspan. Ran a 4.3 40, 36.5-inch vert, 10-foot 9-inch broad jump, 6'7" on the 3-cone, short shuttle 4.04. Whew, he's so raw as a corner, but length, ball tracking, ball skills. He's a special teams player. He's an athlete. Like, the numbers show that. He's really versatile. Yeah. He can play that big slot. He can play outside on an island. Really good in zone coverage, but lack of experience. He hasn't played corner a whole lot. Like I said, former receiver. Technique's not fully there in terms of just, playing corner. His tackling technique also not great. Real tight hips, but you're going to expect that from a guy who's 6'3". And then his run defense I thought would be a little bit better, but like I said, the tackling technique isn't there, so it didn't translate to the run game either. But size speed combo at the corner position, incredibly rare. Incredibly raw, inexperienced at the position, former wide receiver. He excels at ball tracking, great ball skills for the position, insanely athletic, good in zone, can play the big slot role, as well as playing outside on an island. Needs polishing, likely starts as like a CB4, just depth piece, special teams player, as he continues to improve his technique, tackling, and his run defense. Hips are a little tight, but like I said, that's going to happen with a guy who's 6'3" and almost 200 pounds. He moved fluid elsewise. I think he's got a high ceiling. Like again, I wish he was a little bit younger, like Za Frazier. Like if he was 22, I think we're looking at this guy early second round then. But being 24, you're probably going to see him end of the second at best, probably early third. But I think teams are going to love just how traitsy this dude is.
I agree, dude. Like, he's a 6-year guy, played receiver for a good amount of time. He's very new to playing corner, but what you did watch, he played a lot of zone because he's raw. Still raw when it comes to man-to-man, but has a legit NFL burst and speed to develop into a huge-sized corner to make unbelievable plays in zone. Has great field coverage due to his size and burst. Good at breaking up plays in the zone. Needs to get a little bit stronger and improve on his ability to press. Twitchy guys are going to get him because he's huge. His hips aren't fluid, but I don't care. He's so raw still for only playing corner for like 2 seasons. I think this is his first full season at corner. He has it, dude. Like, I get he's still super raw, but from what you can just watch, he has the ability to just develop so nicely, and that's why I have him as the highest developmental guy. The guys under him, I think, are all pretty solid through and through. They don't really need to develop their game here and there, but he needs to develop a lot.
He's top of the bucket.
100%, dude. He is the top of the developmental bucket. I think his ceiling is through the roof. He's got it. He played at Iowa State, dude. He's covering in practice 2 of the best receivers in this draft.
And Jaden Higgins
and one of them
Noel
is huge, dude. One of them is 6'3", 6'4". Higgins is huge. And he's covering him every day in practice. And he's also covering Noel, who is one of the shiftiest and tiniest guys in practice. So, like, he knows exactly what he's going to be facing at the next level because in practice, he's covering 2 NFL receivers already. He has it, dude. I love his game.
He kind of reminds me of the Seattle corner, big guy.
I was going to say he's a Seattle receiver.
Not Devin Witherspoon, obviously.
Corner.
Tyreek Woolen.
Okay.
Yeah, he was just huge. Tyreek Woolen's like 6'3", built like this. He moves similar, but really good athlete. And I didn't think Darren Porter was going to test this well. Yeah, like, his testing blew me away, and I loved watching him. I do, like I said, he's at the top of the developmental corner bucket. Like, you tip that bucket, he's falling into the next one.
Yep. Yeah, he's on the cusp of just being one of the really good corners in this draft, and he's so raw at it, dude. So yeah. I think his ceiling could be through the roof.
All right. Let's talk Benjamin Morrison from Notre Dame. We both have him at 8.
Dude,
6
his
foot and
injuries
a
scare the fucking hell out of me. And it's so heartbreaking. Yeah, I love his game.
6 foot and a quarter, so a little smaller, 193, 9 1/4 inch hands, 30 3/8 inch arms, 75 7/8 wingspan, so almost 76 inch arms or wingspan. So he's got the length. He's a true alpha corner. Like, on tape, you're watching, this guy's a number 1 corner. Really high IQ, great ball skills. His technique is so refined, but that hip injury, man. I don't like. We're going to talk about Will Johnson later, who's just had a plethora of injuries since last year, but none of them are a hip injury.
No.
Like, a hip injury is so worrisome for a corner, especially one who doesn't have the best long speed. He does struggle if you kind of get in his, like, he doesn't shed blocks. His run defense isn't there.
He's weird, dude.
Tackling. But he's...
And that's
the way
he
it's so
plays
tough to project him.
Worries me because of what he does. The hip injury is huge for him because he plays a lot of man coverage. He does play zone, but he's a lot of one-on-one. He'll get into your grill. But then he allows so much separation. It's super weird how he plays. He will let you get 5 yards from him. He does not care, but he's so good when that ball is in the air. He's one of the best ball trackers I've ever seen play. He's a better ball tracker than cornerback. He would be an amazing outfielder, dude. That's what I want to see him do at this point, because his hip injury worries the hell out of me, and that's why I have him at 8. If he wasn't hurt, he would easily be a top 5 guy for me. It wouldn't even be a question.
He would be my CB4 if he had a clean bill of health. And
yeah,
there 100%. Hasn't been really anything said about it. He hasn't done anything. So
and that's what worries me, dude.
We don't have open access to medicals. Know. We're not NFL teams. We don't work for anybody. So we don't have sources. I'm not plugged in to Adam Schefter, and I'm not buddy with him. Hey, have you heard anything about Adam Morrison? Shout out Gonzaga, great. Benjamin Morrison.
Speaking of big body guys,
Benjamin Morrison, true alpha #1 corner on tape. He owns his island, contains his receiver, so high IQ, excellent length and ball skills, technician, and if it wasn't for this lingering hip injury, he'd be a top 4 corner for me. He's athletic in the short area, but long speed, it's not there, but he can get beat, but he's so good at tracking the ball that if he does get beat, he can get to the ball before his guy. Physicality, he's not physical in the run game, inconsistent tackler, not great at block shedding. There are flaws in this game, but from a true just corner coverage standpoint, he's
one of the best.
Elite grade. It's just this hip injury is so concerning, and that's why he's here at 8. And if a team, it just takes one team. We say that all the time. If there's a team that is willing to take the chance on him in the second round, they could be getting a huge steal if he ends up just getting this clean bill of health.
Yep. Yeah. If his bill of health comes back clean, he's going to be a steal regardless of where he goes in the NFL draft. I think he's going to thrive if a team just tells him, you're going to play zone, dude. You're just going to kind of fade back, and then your burst on that ball, dude, is so elite. That's what I want to see you do for a little bit. Because your hip injury is really going to worry me if you're out here covering Tyreek Hill one-on-one, just because of how fast the NFL guys are. His hip injury is huge. So if he comes back and he's good to go, his hip injury is going to be fine. But like we said, we don't know. We're just 2 NFL guys. We're not NFL guys. Oh, man, I want to love Benjamin Morrison so much, dude, but it worries me.
Get ready for this guy to fall to Baltimore in the second round and thrive. Thrive with Nate Wiggins and Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphreys, and he can just kind of chill for a bit. The Ravens, they have no problems letting guys sit for a year, and they're really good at that sort of developmental process. It wouldn't surprise me if they're the team that takes a shot on Benny Morris.
At the end of the day, whatever team picks him, you're going to be happy with it because that team believes his injury isn't that big of a deal unless it's the 4th or 5th round. If somehow he falls super far, then you know his hip injury is bad. And a team's just taking a flyer just on some type of hope. It's the H's. That's what I'm really figuring out here. It's the hopes. It's the highs. It's all of this cornerback talk.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Benjamin Morrison go to a situation where he can kind of sit this year and kind of get his injuries in just get the body healed, dude. And then come back next season healthy, strong, ready to prove that you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Tape-wise, though, top-tier tape. I love this tape. I think just from a skill standpoint, like I said, if he wasn't hurt, he'd be towards the top of this class.
Top 5 for sure.
All right, let's talk Azareye'h Thomas. We both had him at 6.
No, at a 7.
Okay, so you Trey Amos.
Trey Amos at 6.
Okay, so I have Azareye'h Thomas at 6. You had him at 7. 6 foot 1.5 inches, 197 pounds, 10-inch hands. 32 and
hands, dude.
3/8 inch arms, 78-inch wingspan, 10 foot 2 broad, 4.58 40, not ideal. 4.21 shuttle though. Another physical guy in contested areas, 50-50 balls. He's right there with receivers. Real good,
dude. I'm telling you right now, 50-50 balls aren't 50-50 for the receiver. They lean heavily in his favor. It's crazy watching him do contested catches.
Yeah. It's when we talked about Jaden Higgins, I said they weren't 50-50 balls for Jaden Higgins. They're 80-20s.
Yeah.
They're 80-20s for Azareye'h Thomas. Real good blitzer, too. Off the edge. He's really good at,
100%,
hiding his blitzes and not showing that he's going. And he gets off that edge. He's also super competitive, really chippy, good in press, good length. The athleticism, it's iffy. Ball skills, lack of turnover production.
That's my red
Not
flag.
there. Long speed, locks to stop and go, but
Mm-hmm.
Azareye'h Thomas, not the most athletically gifted kid in the class, but he makes up for it with his competitiveness. So physical at the line of scrimmage as well. Contested catch situations against the run, and as a blitzer, like he does all that dirty stuff that corners usually just kind of wash their hands of. Not him. Incredible length helps aid him with his lack of athleticism. Long speed, not there. Fluid hips, not really there. Doesn't move well laterally. Does struggle in the stop and go. And like I said, the ball skills are the biggest worry for me. Like, yeah, he's really good in that contested catch area, but like he's not a great ball tracker. There's not a lot of turnover production for him. And stuff like that can be touchy year to year, but he doesn't have it really at all. But
Yeah.
I just love the guy who's going to come in there and compete and just do the dirty stuff and make the room better. And I think that's the type of player Azareye'h Thomas is. Like, if a team took a shot on him in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised. I think he's a second round guy.
Yep.
And like,
I agree.
I have Maxwell Hairston at 7. Really, the only difference between these two is, for me, I just lean more towards the physicality that Azareye'h Thomas brings. I think that's where Maxwell Hairston. That's the difference between them.
Yeah, for sure. He's a really good press corner that lacks NFL speed, but makes up for it with his NFL size. He can really push a guy off his route with ease. He's great at contested balls, plays super physical. Needs a little bit more experience. But once he gets another year or two under his belt, you're going to see the guy that he really is. You can kind of see it here and there. He's not as consistent as you would want. But again, it's so hard for a cornerback to be consistent 12 games in college and then in the playoffs if you happen to get there. Florida State did not due to their shitty play this year. But they were so bad this year, dude.
so bad.
But
there's 2 players on that team that I liked in this draft. We'll talk about the other one next week.
Yeah, we'll get there. But yeah, dude, his ability to play press, I love it. He's super physical, super good at contested balls, but does lack the ball instinct to make the actual play to catch the ball. He's really good at breaking it up, and his NFL speed is not there. So you're fine with that just based off of his length, his height. His arm length is crazy, dude, and his hands are huge. So, like, what he does lack, he obviously has stuff to make up for it. It's give and take with Thomas a bunch, but I do see him as a pretty bright prospect.
All right. You have Trey Amos at 6.
Yes, sir.
Do you have Maxwell Hairston at 5?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I have Trey Amos at 5. So
I figured.
Maxwell Hairston, we'll start with him. He's the opposite of Azareye'h Thomas.
For sure, dude.
5'11.5", 183 pounds.
He blew the combine up, dude.
Yeah, 8 3/4 inch hand size, 31 inch arms, 76 and 5'8" wingspan, 4'2", 840, 39.5 inch vert, 10 9 inch broad. For Hairston, I said he wasn't physical compared to like Azareye'h Thomas, but there's times at tape where he tries to be physical. Like his physicality is inconsistent, but like it's there at times. And when he is physical, I loved his game. It's just it just wasn't consistently physical. He's a gambler, playmaker, speed, athleticism, burst, acceleration, good in zone. Again, slender frame guy, 183. Tackling. A lot of his tackles, it just kind of looked like he ran the guys out of bounds. He didn't really make a tackle. Like you look at his numbers, like, oh, this guy had like 60 tackles, and then like you're actually watching, he was like, oh, he just kind of chased that guy out of bounds. He gets the tackle credit. Injury concerns, he's banged up off and on. Eye discipline, over aggressive footwork, not the best, but there's room for improvement there. But Maxwell Hairston, like I said, blew up the combine with the 4.2 840. I didn't feel like it always translated to tape, but it looked more like a 4.35, 4.4 almost on tape, but
it's very Matthew Golden. He ran out the building, but he doesn't play that fast.
But despite the slender frame, he tries to be physical. It's just not consistently there. He's not no problems putting his hands on a guy. It's just maintaining the guy. Sometimes he can get his hands on him, but not the best hand strength. Opportunities with turnovers, excelled in the short area with his burst. He's going to excel as a zone-specific corner. I don't think he's going to be a man guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're looking at a zone-only corner in the NFL. I like that he was willing to participate.
I'd argue that.
Yeah, okay.
I think he played a little bit man-to-man. Not well, but I think if you asked him to do it, he would be able to do it here and there. Not consistently.
It's best for him to be zone only, like a zone
100%,
team.
100%.
Get this guy in. Another guy, Baltimore just ends up with this guy with Nate Wiggins, and they just have Nate Wiggins, who's this super chippy, feisty dude, despite being undersized. Then you have this big play guy, Maxwell Hairston. Again, I think Baltimore ends up with one of these dudes, whether it's Hairston or Benjamin Morrison. I think they do take a flyer on one of them.
His big playability from the defense is crazy, dude. 3 pick sixes in 20 games, 6 picks in 20 games. Half of them were touchdowns. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy stat.
Tackling's inconsistent. Like I said, a lot of it was running the guys out of bounds. Injury history, and then with his frame, you worry. Hopefully, that's not a trend in that direction for him. He's a little over-aggressive at times. His eyes do wander too much in the backfield. But I think he could be a high-end ceiling CB2 at the next level with his traits. And if he continues to play physically at a more consistent level, if he becomes more consistent in the physicality, I do think he could be a fine man corner. I just think zone, it benefits to him where he can kind of just be this playmaker. But yeah, he's fun. He's fun. I just think there's a little bit more flaws to his game than Azareye'h Thomas.
Yeah. Homie blew up the combine. You read all through his combine stats, so I'm not going to go there. Really athletically gifted, outside corner with long arms, good ball vision, capable of playing zone. Man-to-man at the next level does need work. Tracks the ball smoothly and has great burst to snag the ball out of the air. Like I brought up, 3 pick sixes in 20 games. He's a huge playmaker. He does struggle versus bigger receivers, so at the next level, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. But he's very fluid in the coverage and his ability to stick with you. And he also has the makeup speed to get him past anybody at the next level. He's super fast. I get he doesn't play at the 2.48, but he plays at the 4.28. But he plays at like
2.48,
dude.
First pick of the draft, baby.
Oakland's trading up to 1, baby. Al Davis from the dead. We need to get this guy, baby. That would be crazy. But he plays at a 4.3, dude. He's still really fast at the end of the day. He's faster than most guys at this position. I just like what he brings, dude. I get he's not going to be a really good man-to-man, but he's going to try, dude. He plays as physical as a guy with his frame can play. You just want him to be a little bit more dog, you know? And I think a right coach can bring that out of him.
You think he goes first round?
I don't want to... Yes.
I also agree. I brought up Baltimore.
When he blew up the combine, there was so much comparison to him and Emmanuel Forbes. It's not the same. It's not. Emmanuel Forbes never played this physical. He never really wanted to do anything dirty. Harrison will do anything you ask him to do at the next level.
Yeah,
I don't like the comparison to Emmanuel Forbes.
Forbes was playback, try to catch the ball, get a big play.
Yep.
Whereas Harrison, he, like I said, physicality's there. It's just not always consistent. I do agree he goes first round. I said Baltimore as a spot, but I also like Buffalo and LA. They play LA Rams. They both play zone and do sprinkle in some man-to-man, and I think that those are two schemes that, like I said, I think he's better in zone, can play man-to-man. So I think that's his range, like that 26 where the Rams pick to 32. I think he goes in that range. I do think he ends up going in the first round.
Yeah, I agree. But if he does end up slipping out of the first, I wouldn't be too alarmed.
Wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
But I think if he falls in the second, he's going to go within the first 10 picks of the second round. I think someone's going to really snag him up.
Okay. Trey Amos, Ole Miss. I'm at 5. You had him at 6?
6. Yeah. Right outside my top 5. He's got good NFL size, good press corner. Made the transition from the Sun Belt to the SEC very smoothly, which you love to see. You love guys that play lesser competition and they dominate, and then he transfers to Ole Miss, the SEC, and still dominates. So you love that. And his game was the same from the Sun Belt to the SEC. He's really good in short areas, dude. I love his short area movement. Plays man to man really well. This is the guy said that he needs to trust his own abilities a little bit more. I want to see him just believe in his ability to make a burst on the ball, because I know it's there. I've seen him do it. I just don't know if he believes that he can make the consistent burst at the ball. He kind of he lets guys catch the ball and then he breaks at them, break at him before the ball's there.
He plays safe. He plays safe.
He plays safe. He plays and I like that. I get it. But sometimes I need you to be the aggressor and knock that ball out of that guy's hand.
Yeah.
You take over. Safe. My voice is about to go.
If we play touch football in the backyard, because I'm a slow dude, and a lot of guys can outrun me, so I play back. I let them catch it. Come to me.
No, that's how I play. I'll let you catch the ball, but I'm gonna make the tackle right there, dude. I don't care if you get 4 or 5 yards.
Trey Amos, 6'1", 195 pounds, 31 and a quarter-inch arms. 9-inch hands.
Big old arms.
9-inch hands. Ran a 4.43, 32.5-inch vert, 10'6" broad. I also wish he trusts his instincts. Ball tracking, reaction time, it can be there. Really good in press.
It's there.
Good footwork, good in run support. Inconsistent tackler.
Great in run support.
He gets overly aggressive with his hands and his eyes more than his play. Average top speed. But Trey Amos doesn't do anything at an elite level, but he provides a nice floor for a late round, mid-second round pick. A little inconsistent in his tackling technique, lowers his head, relies too much on his arms. He doesn't keep his head up. Just let him come to you. Get in there. Long speed, not great. Functional NFL athlete though. Fluid hips, solid footwork. No issue staying in the wide receiver's pocket. I thought he did really good staying hip to hip with the receivers.
For sure.
Overly aggressive and eager at times and wants to make a big play. It's just that he doesn't. Like you said, he just won't. Like you see it there. Like the capabilities are there.
I want him to do it. Yeah.
He's just either a second too late or he just doesn't get his hands up and just lets the play get broken. But I think he's going to thrive in press coverage at the next level. I love what he brings to the game. And playing him on the outside, let him work. Excellent run defender. No problems breaking up plays on the run or getting to like a carrier on a screen pass. He's really good at block shedding there. I think he's a rock solid CB2 from the jump. Like I think
for
that's
sure
there. And but
right
I think that's also think that's his ceiling. Like.
Yep.
I don't think he's a CB1, but I think he's a guy you can trust just be your number 2 corner, and I think he's a starting corner for a long time. But I do wish he would trust his playmaking ability because it's there.
I found him working a lot better when he knew he had help over the top. Like if he knew he had safety help, he played a lot more free and relaxed and
loose. Yeah.
Willing to do. Yeah, he was willing to do a little bit more. But when he knew he didn't have help, he was so safe that he was terrified to make a play on the ball just because he didn't want the top to get taken off of him. It's a give and take, dude. You gotta start being a little bit more aggressive. But I love it, dude. I don't know if it's an Ole Miss thing. I don't know if Ole Miss just plays like the safest, cleanest football in the world, and they're just not allowed to do things. Exactly. He is like
he's Trey Harris.
Almost is the Jackson Dart. Like, he doesn't have any elite traits, but he does everything so well and so fundamental that he's going to be a great pro regardless. But he might not be an amazing pro, but he's going to be a fucking good one just because he does everything good and well, and you know what you're getting at the end of the day. He's a really safe prospect.
Yeah.
I like a lot of Ole Miss guys this year, dude.
Yeah, you do. Big Ole Miss Lane Kiffin guy over here.
I do. I'm loving Lane this year, dude.
I also wonder, because like you said, he does play safe, doesn't like getting beat over the top, and he does play a little, he just lets the play get broken up if he's just him and the receiver with no safety help. I wonder if he's just worried about getting beat. Whereas like if you want a corner, like good corners, they play and forget. If they get beat next play out, that's not even in their mind.
Doesn't matter.
They just got burned for a touchdown.
Doesn't matter.
So I wonder if like maybe he doesn't have that capability. I don't know. Like maybe he is afraid of getting beat and be like, okay, like they just exposed me. Like what if it happens again? Like maybe he just gets in his own head. I don't know. I'm not him. I've never interviewed him, But maybe that's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. But like I said, I think he's a CB2 at the next level, and I think he should be a good one.
I agree.
All right, rest of my top 5, like I said, Trey Amos, he's my 5, Ole Miss corner. At 4, I have Savon Ravel Jr. from East Carolina. At 3, I have Will Johnson from Michigan. 2, I have Jahdae Barron from Texas. And hey, we're ending another Count Scout episode talking about Travis Hunter, who is my CB1
Talking about him
from Colorado.
All right.
You don't have him at 1?
We're talking about him. No, we're finally talking about him. I really didn't talk about him that much at the receiver episode.
Okay.
Because I had Ted. Well, yeah, I have Ted over him, but no, we're talking about Travis Hunter here, boys. My top 5 is Maxwell Harrison, Kentucky. 4, Siobhan Revel, ECU. 3, Jahad Barron, Texas.
Okay, so we
2,
got Johnson,
Will
Barron,
Johnson at Michigan. And then 1, Travis Hunter. The man of the draft class, the man of the hour, the generational talent himself.
Okay. Let's talk Savon Ravel.
Dude, if he didn't have this ACL injury in September, there's not a doubt in my mind that he's a top 15 pick in this draft. He is that dude. He's got it.
Yeah, he's almost 6'2". He's 6'1" and 7/8 inch, 194 pounds, 9 5/8 inch hands, 32 and 5/8 inch arms, almost an 80-inch wingspan. Oh, daddy. Length and frame, it's there.
Yes, sir.
Speed, athleticism, his closing burst and recovery speed. He's so feisty. Good tackler. Fluid hips. Like, there's times, like, it looks like he lets the receiver beat him. And he gets to him first. Like, he trusts his
Benjamin Morrison does
so
that. Yeah.
much.
He just lets people get past him, and he's like, oh, guess what? I'm going to close on you. I'm going to make a play on the ball, and you're going to think you just had a touchdown. By the way, you just dropped the ball because you just thought you were gone.
Yep.
He's so good.
Yeah. He's still a little raw, plays with a high pad level, but almost 6'2", that's going to happen. Ball skills, eye discipline aren't there. Like, I thought there'd be a little more ball. Like, he plays like a ball hawk,
I
but
agree.
it's not.
I agree.
Doesn't have it. Level of competition, obviously, concern. He stayed at ECU, never left. He was offered to leave. He just stayed. Injury concerns coming off the ACL injury this past year. He's also so aggressive to a flaw. Like, he had 11 flags.
It's a red flag.
While playing at ECU, but he offers so much of he's such a unique blend of size, physicality, speed that he makes him such a an interesting high ceiling prospect. He's got all the physical traits to be an elite corner at the NFL level. If you can unlock all these tools that he gives you, like, he's got the whole toolbox. Overly aggressive downfield, draws penalties, ball skills, eye discipline need developing. Sometimes he trusts his athleticism a little too much. Like I said, he'll let himself get beat and just trust that he's going to have the makeup speed. And while he does have that in college, it might not be that way at the NFL. But he's such a dog, man. Like, he plays with this fire and this passion. He's got no problems doing the dirty work and run defense. Good tackler. If in 5 years we look back at this draft class and we're talking about Savon Ravel as the best corner, would not shock me if he's that dude. Everything's there for him to be that. If the medicals check out, to me, he's a no-brainer. Top 10 on my board. I am in love with the prospect on tape. I hope the medicals do check out. If he goes first round, then I'm not worried with how teams feel about him. I think this dude has it. I think he can be special.
For sure. He's got great size, good speed, long arms, almost 33 inches, great and press. Really good with his hands. Guys do get past him, but it almost seems like he does it on purpose. So we did both kind of notice that. But he's always right behind them. Good hip turn, good catch-up speed. Doesn't let guys get too far, but he allows a little bit of separation just to let guys think they're free. Has the ability to play press due to his size and length. Just needs a little bit more experience because he's still a little bit raw. ACL injury in September, but he's a legit chance of even going early second, still in the first round, even with the ACL injury last season. And that just shows what kind of prospect he is. If you watch his tape and he is good to go, ACL injuries, they're legit, but it's not 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We've come so far with ACL injuries. If he comes back good to go and clear, I agree. It wouldn't surprise me if he's the best corner in this draft.
Yeah.
I almost had him above Barron, but the injury scares me a little bit. where Barron is no injuries this year.
If he was fully healthy, he probably would have been my CB2 over Barron and Will Johnson. I have Will Johnson 3. So
yeah,
but
I see it.
Let's talk Jedi Barron, Texas. I have him at CB2. You have him CB3. Almost 5'11", 5'10" 3/4, 194 pounds, 9.5-inch hands, 29 5/8" arms, 73.5-inch wingspan. Ran the 4.39, ran a 1.5 10-yard split, 35-inch vert, 10'3" broad. Solid offhand, shotgun, just arms, short arms. That does worry me. That is my biggest red flag for Jahdae Barron. He's got short arms. So the outside corner experience also with the short arms, usually short arm guys, they're nickel dudes. Jahdae Barron has a 1-year experience as an outside corner. I think he could play outside the NFL though. Long speed's not there.
I think he can. I agree. I think he's going to be
I think he's better as a nickel.
Better in the nickel. Yeah.
I also wish he trust his eyes a little bit more, but he's versatile. He can play a little safety, plays nickel, he can play outside. Physical, ball skills, instincts, does the run defense really well. Versatile defensive back, gives the defensive coordinator kind of a chess piece of sorts. Experience at safety, like I said, nickel, corner, outside corner. And he played well at all those spots at Texas. I think his game does translate better to the slot, but in the right system, I believe he can be a serviceable outside corner. I think he's an excellent run defender with elite ball skills, physical at the point of attack. Sometimes he can be a little eager, and despite the good burst athleticism in the short area, he does lack the long speed. Again, he ran that 4.39, does not play like he runs a 4.39. No. I don't know what's going on with Texas because Matthew Golden, same thing, ran that 4.29. Doesn't look like he's doing it on tape. Yeah.
Jadon Blue, he doesn't play that fast.
See, I
doesn't play that fast, though.
I think he does when the ball's in his hands, like in the receiving aspect for Jadon Blue.
Once he gets the ball in his hands and starts moving, he gets to that speed. But none of these guys consistently play at the 4.2s, the 4.3s. Like, Texas guys showed up the combine, and they flew, dude.
Yeah.
Like, they're track stars.
It's good to know it's there, which is weird because it wasn't there for Xavier Bond.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But instincts are good in terms of ball tracking, but at times it does feel like he doesn't trust his eyes. But I think Jahdae Barron is just a really good football player. I was on to him early this year. I noticed, man, this Texas corner is really good. I looked into him like, oh, he was a nickel, he was a safety. I brought him up in our prospect spotlight series. He was one of my guys early on. But yeah, I'm in on the game. I think he provides a really good floor at the NFL level. I think he could be a CB1.
I agree.
His draft range is weird to me. Like, if he goes top 10, wouldn't be surprised, but it also wouldn't surprise me if he falls to the lower end of the top 20. I would love if Pittsburgh got him and paired him with Joey Porter Jr. I think they'd be great together. But I do think he does translate better as a slot. Like I said, I think he's an elite level nickel corner coming in.
I agree.
But I think he can be an outside guy. But from an outside standpoint, I do like Will Johnson more. I think Will Johnson's a better outside corner than Jahdae Barron. Yeah. I just the only edge besides injury concern was that Barron's a little more versatile. He could play outside, he could play inside, plays a little safety. That is the only notch that I have for him above Will Johnson. That's really the only difference. I love both of them.
Yeah, no, I get it. He's probably the stickiest corner in the draft. He's always by a receiver's hip, no matter what. Excuse me. Really good football and route running recognition. Doesn't let guys get yards after the catch as well. He's quick to the tackle. Always brings them down too. Really shines in zone. And best when he's playing nickel, like we brought up. Beck can play man-to-man a little bit. I think he's going to have more of a chance to play outside compared to Maxwell Harrison. I think Harrison's going to play a little bit more inside the nickel, where Barron could kick out if needed. Could play man-to-man, but noticed him getting a little grabby at the top of his routes. And again, he works better when he knows he has help over the top. Him and his safety buddy, I'm blanking on his name.
Andrew Makuba.
Andrew Makuba, who we talked about in our safety episode. If he knew he had Makuba behind him, those two guys worked so fluidly together. Yeah, it was amazing to watch both of them.
I would love if they somehow do get together at the next level.
I would love that, dude. They have such a connection that they don't even need to communicate. They just know, oh, if he gets past me, Makuba's got him. Or, oh, I can make a break on this because Barron's got him over here. Those two guys work so well off each other. Like, what Barron lacks, Makuba gets, and then Makuba does what he does. Yeah.
But
I like Barron a lot.
But in that sense, with his relationship with Makuba, I think that does translate really well to the next level. Like you get him in the defensive back room if he develops that rapport with whatever safety he's
with anyone there,
and it helps everybody play a little looser. And I think that's good for teams. You're not playing so tight. You're not worrying about getting beat over top. You're playing loose. You're playing free, and I think that puts you at an advantage if you just kind of breathe and be less tense.
Yep. Yeah, if you know you have nothing to worry about because the guy behind you has your back, it just makes everything 10 times easier. So hopefully Barron can get that at the next level. That's what I was really getting. If he's able to get that kind of safety at the next level, Barron's going to shine, dude. He's going to be so good.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just a little bit worried about him at the top of the routes. That's the only thing I'm really worried about. Guys do get past him. He's a little grabby. It is what it is, though.
All right, Will Johnson. I was just looking at my top 100 board, and I have Will Johnson and Jahdae Barron. Like I said, there's minimal gap between them. There's one player between them on my board. So when we do our top 100,
I get it.
You'll see that there. Like I love both these guys. Will Johnson, he's my CB3. You're CB2. 6 foot 2 inch, 194 pounds, 9 1/8 inch hands, 30 1/8 inch arms, almost 76 inch wingspan, 75 7/8. Ball hawk, lockdown corner, true alpha corner, just like Ben Morrison. Technically refined. He's patient. His instincts, his anticipation, great. A little handsy downfield. Press coverage gives him issues. I think he's a better zone guy. Tackling in the open field, not as great either. And then the injury concern. He had a toe injury this year and then a hamstring injury during the draft process. So we got no testing here from Will Johnson. But if you could guarantee me that I'm getting 2022 or 2023 Will Johnson, he's easily the best corner in the class, better than Travis Hunter. He's easily top 5 in this class overall. However, 2024, there was a lot to not like. Like I said, the toe injury limited him to 6 games. Been hurt throughout the process. His tackling declined this year, especially in the open field. Across the years, he tends to be a little handsy down the field, inconsistent in press, but he can ball. He's such a baller. He's a gambler. He's really good at just like anticipating, reading the quarterback. He's just a big play waiting to happen. He's a true CB1 with lockdown capabilities, refined technique. I could watch this dude backpedal all day. He's the best backpedaler in the class.
For sure.
Patience well beyond his years. Will Johnson truly is a tale of 2 different tapes.
Yeah, his 2024 was a lot to not be desired. I will give you that. But man, he's such a big corner with great ball instincts, very good body control and change of direction, better playing looking down the field. He can really see the whole field and really read it like a book. He's always backpedaling and sticking to his anticipation at the pass. His ability to break at the top of routes is bar none in this class. But man, he does lack true makeup speed at the next level. That's going to be a red flag, especially with a toe injury. It is what it is. But I love his ability just to play press, play man, play outside. He's such a dog. He's an alpha. And like we've mentioned multiple times, corners go on peaks, valleys, peaks, yada, yada, yada. 2024 wasn't it. I don't care. His 2023, it was it. His 2022, it was it. He was my number 1 corner all throughout this process, up until doing final evals. Travis Hunter got the bump just because of his 2024. It is what it is. I still have him as a very close top 10 prospect in this class. I'm just banking on him, dude. He's a guy I'm willing to tie my flag to and just set it sail. Whatever happens, happens. If he busts, I'm willing to die on that boat, dude.
Yeah, with Will Johnson, it's what tape you're tying yourself to. And I also lean more that his 2023 is the
He's
tape,
still it, dude.
the Will Johnson.
It's still
like
there.
This year, Michigan wasn't great this year. Like, what was he really playing for? Yeah, there's always the Ohio State rivalry, and they beat him, and he wasn't there, so be it. But this guy won his national championship. He wasn't able to come out. He didn't have the eligibility to enter the draft, so he had to come this year. And then, the toe injury, why, risk further injury.
Exactly.
I get where he was coming from. I wish he was able to play this whole year. We would have got a full evaluation of his tape, but I still think he is a top end. at worst, top 20 player in this class.
Yeah, dude, I still think he goes pretty early. I don't think he falls out of the first based off his 2024.
I think
I
his
love
range
him
is the same as Barron's. Top 10,
I agree.
I think is possible, or later part of the top 10. So like 8 through 10, and like it wouldn't be surprised if New Orleans takes him at 9, depending on how the board falls. I think he's a real good scheme fit to that defense. But it wouldn't surprise me if he goes 20 to Pittsburgh. Like, I think that range is there for him, or 22 to Pittsburgh.
Even the Chargers, I think they can fall to the Chargers, being Barron and Will Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if Oakland would pick one of them at 6, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be like, okay, they're 2 really good prospects. I get it. If you see one of them as a number 1 corner and you pick them at 6, they're your second best corner in the draft because Travis Hunter's off the board.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right. Travis Hunter.
Speaking of,
yeah,
I would also like to apologize if I blew my nose during Will Johnson. I didn't have my mic muted. I don't know if I did or not.
You did.
I'm sitting here worried.
It was red.
I'm so worried.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I had my freaking mic muted when I blew my nose for Will Johnson. I was so heartbroken.
Audio only would have no idea. They'd be like, why is this guy talking about blowing his nose? Like, there was nothing in the background.
I've been blowing my nose constantly for the audio only people.
We mentioned that dog, your neighbor's dog, and it doesn't pick up on our audio, even though we hear him and we just talk about him. All right, Travis Hunter, 6 foot.
He's that dude, baby.
3/8 inches, 188 pounds, another kind of wiry framed build. 9 1/8 inch hands, 31 3/8 inch arms, 76 7/8 wingspan. We talked about him in the receiver episode. We're going to talk about him here in the corner episode. Ball skills, there. Eyes, instincts, there. Really great in zone coverage. He's twitchy. He's got good burst. Really smart football player. Frame, concerning. 188 pounds, not the biggest guy. Man coverage, if he's going to get beat, it's going to be a man. You can reference the Alec Iomanor game against Stanford. He was playing man, and Iomanor had a career game, and that's what everybody wants to bring up when they talk about Iomanor. But he never transitioned that to any of the other tape that I watched of him. And then really then with Hunter, it's refining his technique. He's still a little raw. Yeah. But high IQ guy, this is a guy who's playing 2 positions. He's got to learn the offense, learn the defense, learn coverage schemes, learn motion on the offense and the audibles. And he excels at both. So he's as advertised. I brought it up during the receiver episode. I'll say it again here. He truly is a generational talent. He's my wide receiver 1. He's my corner 1. He's going to be my number 1 overall player when we do our big board. He's got the best ball skills I've ever seen.
Spoilers.
I don't care.
What
I don't
the
care.
Heck? Spoilers.
I
oh my
care.
God. This guy's giving away a big reveal. That's even the point of doing a prospect list.
He's my number 1.
God.
He might not be yours.
Oh my God.
We'll see.
You might as well tell them the ending to every movie you ever seen.
I haven't done my full evaluations on edge rushers yet, so Michael Carter could be my number 1. But
so you're telling me that Donovan Azareye'h has a chance to be 1, baby?
I do like him. We'll get to that.
I do like Azareye'h a lot, for sure.
But like I said, Hunter, best ball skills I've ever seen from a corner prospect.
We haven't been doing this long. We've been obviously doing it longer than the podcast.
Yeah, we have 2 draft class in on the podcast. We've probably been deep scouting for, I'd say, 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, I would say 5. This is probably our 5th. He has the best ball tracking ability I've seen. It's bar none. It's easily him tracking a ball is truly a sight to be seen. It is glorious, dude.
The way he plays with his eyes and trusts his instincts are so mature beyond his age. I fully believe he can come into the league tomorrow and he'd be a top 10 corner from the jump. I do. And that's high praise because I think
it is.
I think it's there. He's twitchy, his hips are fluid, his feet are steady, excels in zone, makes up ground with his acceleration. If he loses his zone coverage, though he does get in trouble time to times, he does lean on his athleticism, sort of like Savon Ravel. If he can refine that technique, tackling, over trusting his instincts, that kind of stuff, get a little upper body strength, improve as a man defender, I think we're looking at possibly the best corner in football. I think he's that elite. But if his floor is top 10,
scary thing is he's a better receiver, dog.
I go back and forth. I do think he's a better receiver than he is. I think there's a higher ceiling as a receiver. I think
Yes.
right now he's a better corner than he is receiver. I think his
He's more
corner
consistent. He's more consistent at corner.
I think it's safer for him as a corner in the NFL right now as he develops as a wide receiver. I think if he comes in and you play him at wide receiver, it's going to take a year or two before he's just like, boom, he hits that year 3 window and he's got everything down being an offensive player. Watch out. But I think coming in, if you draft him and you think he's predominantly a corner, I think he could be a top 10 guy right off the bat. Like, I think he's that good right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it depends on what team he goes to, where he's going to be playing, obviously.
And I'm not
if
worried
he goes to a team that needs a corner. Oh, no, I agree. I'm 100% not worried about him at all. I like to fuck with you throughout the draft process that I would be worried about Travis Hunter here and there, just to fuck with you a little bit. Not to hype him up as much as possible, but it's time to give the man his flowers. Here it is.
He's become underrated through the whole draft process somehow.
100. A lot of guys have him. Tet. I got it.
Will Campbell?
Iowa's running back.
My boy Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, it's not cool to like these guys anymore. Oh my God, Will Campbell. I'll die on that hill, dude. I love Will Campbell. Okay, Travis Hunter. Here's his flowers. Possibly a true generational talent. ... No, he is a true generational talent. If he does what he did in college, legit out of this world ball skills, tracking the ball at his highest point, amazing hands, the ability to read and recognize routes. He plays corner like a receiver, and vice versa. He plays receiver like a corner. Some of the best ball instincts I've ever seen out of a prospect. Everything he does is super natural. Nothing looks hard for him. He shines in zone, pretty good at man-to-man, but can get beat. He's a true treat for his quarterback and a legitimate threat for any other quarterback. He's that dude. I am worried about his frame, his size. I don't know if he's going to be able...
He's not perfect.
...to do the... I don't know if he's going to be able to play both sides of the ball at the next level because of his frame. If he was 10 to 15 pounds heavier, I would be 100% on let him be both sides of the ball. I'm a little worried just based off his size. It's going to be a lot of snaps. And he's worn, dude. He's had like 2,000 snaps in college to where like any of these other prospects have had 1,000 snaps.
No,
he's had double the amount of snaps. But I think it's there. If I'm a team,
he's built diff, baby. As the kids would say, he's built diff. Do they still say that?
Do not say that. I've never heard anyone in my life say that.
Oh,
built diff.
He's built diff.
Do not say that.
He's
Who
him.
the fuck says that?
People.
Oh my
Hood
God.
rats. Hood rats. I don't know. I've heard people say it.
Oh my God.
I'll confirm.
We're hanging out with different people.
He's built diff.
I
wish our nephew was here so I could ask him if people say built diff.
But yeah, what really scares me is that he doesn't have the NFL size. He's 6'1", 180. And he's been on the field twice as much as any other prospect in this class. But until he proves to me that he can't do it, let him fucking do it. He's that guy. He's that dog.
I've been saying that all along.
Well, yeah, I kind of like to get you going. So I'm just on the other side of the boat. But until I have to get on here and record, I'm not on the other side of the boat. Travis Hunter is that guy.
I looked up built diff. And it is on Urban Dictionary from 2022. And it says, to describe the best way the person is different than others. If you know, you know. What can I say? I'm just built diff. So, okay, I'm not crazy.
I don't like the word diff.
It does.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it does kind of come off real cringy there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Corner
you just lost half of our audience.
Corner episode in the books. If you're still here and you're new.
They're not because of my voice. These people left an hour and 30 minutes ago because they heard this guy talk. And they're like, this guy should not have a microphone in front of him.
They heard
he should
me
be
say
a doctor.
built diff. And they're like, we're done. We're done. They're the hood rats.
Who gave these people podcasting equipment? They're we're the people they're talking about.
If you're new here and you've stuck around...
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if you're new.
I've looked at the analytics over on YouTube, and a lot of our viewers are new listeners and not subscribed. Subscribe to the show. You'll get notifications. Yeah. Like it, rate it, review it, all that good stuff.
It helps the show out. It gets it to other people.
Yep, we are almost done. our process here. We got edge rushers and interior guys left, and these classes for those two positions
Big bodies.
are deep. We got the meat mountains left. I can't wait to climb those dudes. I can't wait to climb Meat Mountain.
Hey, yo.
So,
You said we're almost done. We still have 40 prospects to talk to.
and then we got 100 big board and a mock draft.
Hell yeah, baby.
So
hopefully the next episode, my voice does not sound like this.
I'll be sick next time.
And I don't need 3 drinks.
I'll be the one sounding like I just hit puberty.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
It's rough. It is rough.
Top 15 corners, I'll quick recap. Azareye'h Alexander, LSU at 15 for me. Noel Williams, California, 14. Kobe Bryant, 13. Kansas. I'll read yours. I got you.
Thank God. Cody just screenshotted and I was going to send it to you.
Kobe Bryant, 13 from Kansas. Jacob Parrish, 12, Kansas State. Za Frazier, UTSA at 11. Dorian Strong, Virginia Tech at 10. Darian Porter, Iowa State at 9. Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame at 8. Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky at 7. Azareye'h Thomas, Florida State at 6. Trey Amos, Ole Miss at 5. Savon Ravel Jr., East Carolina at 4.
Dog.
Will Johnson, Michigan 3. Jedi Barron, Texas 2. Travis Hunter, Colorado at number 1. That is my top 15. Nick's top 15. See if I can just do this off the dome. It is Mello Dotson from Kansas at 15.
Denzel Burke, Ohio
State at 14. Kobe Bryant, Kansas at 13. Quincy Riley, Louisville at 12. Jacob Parrish, Kansas State at 11. At 10,
Azareye'h Alexander, LSU.
Azareye'h Alexander, LSU. I was like, it's a guy that's not on my list. I have him highlighted. Azareye'h Alexander, LSU. 9, Dorian Porter, Iowa State. 8, Benjamin Morrison, Notre Dame. 7, Azareye'h Thomas, Florida State. 6, Trey Amos, Ole Miss. 5, Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky. 4, Savon Ravel Jr., East Carolina. 3, Jedi Barron, Texas. At Will Johnson, Michigan at 2. And Travis Hunter, Colorado at 1. It's a pretty similar list.
No other guy at 1.
Guys.
For sure.
Yeah, so there we go. Corner class in the books.
I kind of expected the back end to be a little bit different, but like we said, there's really 8 guys in this class that I really don't see any of the other guys getting past those other guys.
Going in the second round.
Really good, dude. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. And I think any of those 8 could go in the first round.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bat an eye, except Benjamin Morrison.
I think Darian Porter could sneak into the second round too, or 9th.
I agree. I think there could be 10 corners in the top 10. I think another guy could fall in there, just based off of developmental traits.
Okay, there we go. Corners are in the books.
I apologize for my voice.
A little late.
Made the whole
late this week. We usually do Thursday, but this will be coming out. It's Saturday. But no worries.
Dude, we'll be back. If we tried to record 2 days ago, I would have just sat here for an hour and a half and didn't say anything. I could not talk 2 days ago.
It would have been Nick sending me his transcript. I would have just given you a different 100%. Voice. I would have had to you would have just had to move your voice, and I would just have to try to just read yours, be like, oh, I really like Azareye'h Alexander. I give you my old man voice. I don't know why.
50 years old? What the fuck? What the hell? My Adam Thielen?
Did you say coffee and donuts? Okay, we're leaving. We're off.
Oh my god! Yeah, end this shit.
Draft It Up Podcast. You know where to find us. Twitter at @DraftItUp_pod. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever else you get your podcasts. Like, rate, subscribe, review, share, all that good stuff. Smash that like button on the videos. It helps the algorithm. It helps with our content showing up elsewhere, so more people can get eyes on us. I noticed we've had a jump in subscribers here the last week or two, so we appreciate you guys if you stuck along.
Thank you.
I hope we continue to develop more here. Like I said, edge rushers, interior guys, they're up next for us. Meat Mountain.
Big bodies.
Adios, guys.
Bye.